Hello, hello, and welcome to PolyAmAreWe, the podcast where we look at polyamory and ethical non-monogamy from a male emotional perspective. Isn't that right, wife woman?
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
Do your hello, hello right.
Hello, hello.
No, it's hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Okay, very good. So what have we in store for us today in this episode of PolyAmAreWe? I know one thing. We have discussed on this podcast, jealousies and insecurities and more in a lecturing type way. But how about we delve into our own experiences of jealousies and insecurities? Are you ready to open up this can of worms and our deep dark secrets?
Yes. Let's go and do it.
Jesus Christ.
We have been jealous. Well, where we have experienced jealousy, I think so. The concept that many people has wrong that just because we are polyamory, we don't feel jealous, and I think so that's not possible. Because
I'm jealous right now.
Why?
Because you're so cool and it's so warm here, and I'm sweating my ass off.
Anyway, many people think that once that you open your relationship, it's like a button that you say, okay, I won't be jealous anymore. You push that button and that's it. You don't feel jealous, but nothing further than that. I feel jealousy is a human feeling that you cannot just get rid of it and that's it. As well, we have been taught that jealous is this insecurity that if you are jealous, that's something super bad, that you have to work a lot in yourself and you are like a very insecure person. We're talking here about the act of feeling jealous, not what you do on reactions when you feel jealous.
Yeah, well, you know my take on jealousy, and I've said it on this podcast before, where I don't see jealousy. I don't know how you see it, but I don't see jealousy in itself as an emotion, as a standalone emotion like anger or happiness or the likes. I see jealousy myself as, what would you call it? A result of another emotional state. So whether I'm feeling angry, jealousy can rear its ugly head. Whether I'm feeling lonely, jealousy can rear its head. Whether I'm feeling even hungry and my emotional state is disbalanced, jealousy can rear its head.
Well, jealousy, jealousy is an emotion by itself. It's the fear of losing someone. It's the fear that person is having what I don't.
Or would it be the fear of not being good enough for someone?
It could be as well, but that it comes in an insecurity. So we come back that part of insecurity.
Let's do full circle.
But sometimes many people think that just jealousy, that if you're feeling jealous, you only have to work in yourself and that's it, that is 100%. When it's, especially with your partner, is something that has to be working in a mutual way. Because let's first define what is jealous. Jealous is the response that the human body has when you are having a fear or a threat of losing the person that you love.
Okay.
So basically, it's like I'm feeling jealous. Like if, let's say you are dating someone, I can start feeling jealous because I'm start feeling the fear that I will lose you. So here, what we do in polyamory, or the ideal way to do it, is you start feeling jealous. So you detect why is the jealous happening.
What does jealousy feel for you though? When you're detecting jealousy, I can only speak for myself because I'm only in control of my emotional state, as everyone else in the whole world is. But what is that feeling of jealousy? How would you describe your feeling of jealousy? What are your...
I don't know, maybe something in the stomach or in the chest.
Like in the pit of the stomach?
No, or maybe here, I think so more like...
Turn into a green-eyed monster?
No, it's more like emotion in my chest, when you're coming down from a roller coaster.
Jealousy is like roller coasters, what we've learned here today.
Well, as well.
There we go.
But that feeling when you're coming, that, I don't know, that kind of emotion is basically what I feel. But then in the moment, I have been learned to detect when is the jealous feeling, I feel it's very important to detect your emotions and know your emotions.
Yeah.
Because if jealous is happening, why I'm feeling jealous? Okay, because I having this emotion of fear of losing this person, or maybe that person is not giving me the attention, or maybe I try to detect why the jealousy is happening, and I see if it's something that is I can resolve it, or I need my partner to resolve it.
Okay, well, would you need your partner to resolve it or work through it with your partner?
No, yeah, exactly. Work
Yeah,
through
yeah.
with your partner. For example, if I'm feeling that you are not paying me too much attention,
Who said that?
uh, then I can go and say to you, like, Carl, I'm feeling jealous because maybe you're spending too much time with a person. Like, could you give me more attention? Or if
Okay.
I feel that you are, like, let's say I'm feeling that, but you are feeling that you are giving me plenty of attention, and really you are giving me attention, but it's just something I'm feeling. Then is when it's very important to be very analytical with yourself, or like reflective with yourself.
That could feed into our previous episode on the love languages, though, as well, because if you don't know your partners, how they react in certain ways to certain situations, you may not even detect that they're feeling jealous until they, open their mouth and say, hey, I am feeling, which can be very difficult for people.
Well, to be honest, it's the responsibility as well of the partner saying, you know what, I'm feeling jealous. Because remember, we don't read minds.
Exactly.
So, for example, I can't, like, if you're in a particular situation that you are feeling jealous, it's your responsibility to let me know what is happening in your head. I can, of course, observe and try to detect something, but it's your responsibility to let me know what is happening inside your head, because I cannot read minds. And that happens with your partners, So you cannot expect that our partners will read our mind when we're feeling jealous and say, like, yeah, he has to read my mind, so he has to know what I'm needing.
Because I think a lot of times when someone is jealous in a any relationship, whether it be monogamous or polyamorous, jealousy can rear its ugly head in the weirdest ways. If someone's feeling jealous and then one member who's feeling jealous then ends up, giving off passive aggressive tactics, or, showing their frustration in other ways instead of just, hey, we need to sit down and have a conversation.
Yes, like, definitely, like, I feel the healthiest way is say, you know what, like you're saying, like, I'm feeling jealous, we need to have a conversation, because then you can talk about it. That when you are holding it, you pretend that there's nothing happening, and you ignore that feeling, it will just start to accumulating until it will explode in one point, that something will happen that will make you explode. But that thing didn't make you explode. It's all the accumulation of when you didn't talk about it that make it explode.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why it's very important to... That's why in relationships, always the most important factor is communication.
Well, yeah, and I mean, in any journey of love, whatever, whether it be monogamous, polyamorous, I mean, having a sense of your own emotional state is paramount in order to communicate. A sense of emotional maturity when it comes to having these big conversations, rather than, like I said earlier, and rather than turning the route of, I'm going to stonewall my partner, I'm not going to talk to them, I'm going to, walk on eggshells around them, which can make the whole situation a hell of a lot worse, because one member is then going, well, what have I done wrong?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's really important, that part of communication, and it's our responsibility to detect when jealousy is happening, and as well is responsibility of the other person, be open to listen and say, okay, you know what is happening, why you're feeling jealous, because at the end of the day, a relationship is two people, could be more,
Or more.
But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I'm talking with you, I am giving you this information, you have to receive as well the information. So it has to be two channels, one that is giving and the other one that is receiving.
True, yeah.
So
where the emotional intelligence then comes into it, that you're able to be receptive to hearing, uncomfortable, maybe criticisms about yourself.
Yeah,
and not take it completely personally,
personal.
like there's something generally wrong with me, that it's only in this specific case, that in this issue where I felt jealous, but generally our relationship is, solid.
Yeah. So definitely, and it's part of why we said as well in the episode when we open a relationship, the importance of work on your relationship before opening to polyamory, because
Build a strong foundation.
you need to have, like, I think so, for have a success polyamory relationship, you need to have a good communication and be able to understand all these situations without taking it personal. And I think so that's something that you and I, we have been working good about. Even sometimes we can react.
Yeah, and we all get those off days, and it's not. Let's say it's nothing to do with you. Let's say I'm having a bad day in work, and something happens where I'm just like, "Arr," and then it's not directed at you specifically. It's the overall overarching situation of my day.
Yeah, exactly. So is this part of, we are here
For you. we are here for you, dear listener. If you want to write into us about your problems with jealousy, we can help you unpack.
Yes, as well. Well, basically, of course, that from our point of view or an experience that we have been in this journey for 3 years.
4 years.
4 years, something
Isn't
like
it?
that.
I don't know. I don't count. It's like with my drinking. I don't really count how many years I've been sober. I'm just like, it's been a while.
No, but of course, this is a process. For us to get to this point, it was a lot of work. But when we decide to open a relationship, we as well decide that when we have a confrontation, a problem that we were not seeing each other eye to eye, that the most important part was the intention of resolving the issue.
Which isn't always the easiest anyway, because the way I am, or the way I used to be more so, is I'd let things pile up on me. And pile up, and I wouldn't talk about my issues. And then there'll be some day where, a cup is put in the sink the wrong way around or something, and then all of a sudden the floodgates open with me, and everything comes out, 6 months worth of emotional baggage that I used to just offload. And that's how I would generally operate. And I think I'm getting better at it these days, where it's just like, if something's festering, it does take a bit of poking out of me. I am a guy after all, and it does take a bit of drawing out. But once I do realize I'm in a safe space with someone I love, who I trust, it's a lot easier to have those big conversations, like I said earlier on, where if it's something with one of your partners and you're spending time with them, or you've gone out several nights in the week, and I'm just like, yeah, but what about our Netflix show? I want to watch your Netflix show. That kind of thing. And minor in the grand scheme of things. But it can be very, very big in the head of the person who's carrying it.
Yeah. No, definitely. But that's why it's important part of develop these skills and growth or helping tools for each other. Like, if you have better tools to how to react to things, you will be able to handle situation better and resolve conflicts a lot easier and faster.
Well, in light of that, I mean, what I said in one of the other podcasts, I think it was in the jealousy one as well, where I've managed to flip the script on my jealousy. So the other day, you were out with a partner, you were on a hill walk or whatever, you're on the retreat. And you showed me the picture of you carrying that acorn the next day, where you looked super cute with this huge, big, not an acorn, what are those things called?
Like the pine.
Pine cone.
Yeah.
That's it. An acorn is tiny. Big acorn. I mean, you'd have very happy squirrels out there, wouldn't you? No, a big pine cone. And you showed me the picture. And my first thought that jumped into my head, and I won't lie, was, I wish I were there to take that picture, because you look super happy and you're having such a good time and you look super cute. Until I was able to, and I'm very good at it now, like instantly flip it in my head going, I am glad you had an amazing day out and you've got this picture with your partner who you can cherish those memories, and that is absolutely awesome for you. And I actually feel from the bottom of my heart just happiness over seeing you enjoy your life and live your life to the best you can.
Even I send you a picture, like, I would like to as well one day we come as well for, like, did you see it?
Well, exactly. And it's like I've said before, when you're out for meals sometimes and you'll bring me back the last bite of this most delicious steak you've eaten in this whole city, and you'll come back in a takeaway box, this tiny little morsel with hardly even a bite on it, but you have to try it. I'm like, oh, you're so sweet.
So, like, I think so the important part is building this kind of relationship, knowing that your partner always want the best for you, and it's like caring for you. And if, of course, when jealousy happen, that you
and it will happen.
It will happen.
It will happen.
That you have the door to open it, to communicate and to have that conversation.
But let's say some people find it too hard to have that conversation. Are there other ways around it? Let's say, could you write your partner a note, let's say, or...
Yeah, at the end of the day, you have to
be a bit less introvert, because every relationship is, as we have always said ourselves, unique, special, amazing. Every relationship has their own little things and their own quirks and their own things that work for them. And that's about finding out with each individual partner what works, right?
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, you have to see whatever works, because we have this idea that you always have to talk face to face with a person. But for some people, that doesn't work, because face to face, they cannot think properly what they want to say.
Sure, there could be could even have anxiety issues where they can't have face-to-face conversations like that.
So at the end of the day, it has to do whatever it feels best for you, whatever feels better for you. The other day I had a conversation with someone and was by text, And although by text is very tricky because
you can't convey emotion.
Exactly. You cannot see
except
the emotion.
Emojis.
And then you take the emotion for whatever you are feeling.
It's like that TikTok video. I think we've all seen it where it's one guy sends a message and the other guy receiving the message picks up the meaning on it completely wrong. And they're having this back and forth kind of tennis match over one guy getting really annoyed by the first guy's responses. But the first guy's like, oh, that's really sweet how you responded.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something like that.
So is that conveying emotion within messages, which
so
is very difficult.
It's some people that they can have conversations by text. And I have noticed that with some people, I can have a serious conversation by text and it flows really, really well. And we are able to understand each other because, I don't know, it just works. And for me, in one way, I prefer text because I am able to read what I'm saying, think if it's the proper thing that I want to say, and kind of you're more thoughtful when you are doing it. The only problem that the person cannot read your emotions.
Exactly.
So actually what I used to do, I send first an audio, I say, look, this is my voice saying
so you know
what
calm.
how I am feeling.
That's
but I
interesting.
will write it because then I can have my thoughts better.
So it's like a prelude to, okay, I'm going to message bomb you with some heavy information here. But you message them with a voice message first,
explaining
just to
how is my tone. Read it in this tone.
and just to iron out any wrinkles. And that is a really good bit of advice, actually.
Yeah, you just say here, this is my tone. Look, I'm chill. I'm relaxed.
Chill. I'm good.
Just and read it with this voice, okay? You take care.
So I'm writing it with this emotional
Exactly.
state, so it doesn't have any other nuance, baggage behind
Exactly.
it, passive aggressiveness or anything.
Exactly,
Yeah,
because
cool.
sometimes, like when you're in a tense conversation, you can feel that
We've all been
can
there.
be very tense.
Yeah.
But
And you're sort of you're trying to reword your messages to make it sound like it's coming across, and then you're like, what words do I pick here, and does this sound right? And it's just it's a mind fuck for everyone involved.
definitely is a thing. So that could be like something maybe could help some people. And for other ones, like if you prefer have a conversation by text, it's completely valid. And explain why to
Or
your
by
partner,
email,
you know.
or by carrier
At the
pigeon,
end of
as
the
long
day,
as you're communicating.
you have to do whatever it works for you as a couple.
Absolutely.
Explore together what type of communication works.
But then what works with one partner may not work necessarily with another partner.
Exactly.
As you know yourself, we've all been there. Every relationship is unique and special and fantastic.
Exactly. Exactamente.
So do you have any real world examples you want to bomb here on moments where you felt that kind of jealous inkling?
I feel like we both have feelings. Like, in many
no,
situations.
that's why I'm asking you. I shared mine about your acorn. Acorn, no. Pine cone.
Let's say...
We're getting real.
I remember once we were in Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Waverley.
Like, we have this agreement that when we're traveling with someone that you are dating or I'm dating, we become like the friend for that time.
Yeah, but we had been only very early days into our
that was
polyamorous journey.
Yeah, exactly.
We
that
were
was
maybe
super
8
early.
months. No, like
even less.
we were 2 years studying about it, but it was only maybe 6 or 8 months in the real world practicing.
And it was for me very weird to don't have your usual attention.
Well, yeah. I mean, I found that weird not to be holding your hand or something, or because we hold hands like everywhere we go.
Yeah, so it was.
But I didn't want to make my partner feel, put out in any way. But then I also didn't want to make you feel put out in any way. So very stuck in the middle kind of a feeling.
Yeah, exactly. So it was kind of. It was kind of.
I think I was holding her hand at points there, was I?
Yeah, and it's fair to be honest because at the end of the day, you were traveling with her.
Exactly, for the small amount of time we would get to spend together, as opposed to the lifetime we spent together.
And I'm still agree with that. That's kind of when it's something that a distance relationship and stuff like that. I feel that is the best for including the other person.
Of course, because that comes back down to the whole mantra of treating people like people. Do not treat people like objects.
Yeah. And by other hand, jealous will happen. At the end of the day, in this kind of style of polyamory, you will feel it.
Everyone
in one point,
yeah.
Even in normal monogamous relationship. The other thing is, in polyamory, you have to build this trust to be able to open the relationship, or the ideal is it. So in one way, that part of the trust is the communication.
But it works both ways. So if, let's say, you're feeling jealous over something, or you could be feeling insecure over something, I mean, it works. There's a give and take in Because the person who's feeling jealousy may not necessarily be feeling insecure, whereas the person who is feeling insecure may not often be feeling jealousy. So there's a lot to unpack in those things as to where you're knocking the table around, going to smash it up, yeah, wreck it, as to where the emotional state is in that moment and how to effectively communicate. Because we can all communicate till the cows come home, but it's about effective communication.
That's a very, very important key on this, to especially don't do it from a place of control. Who is having the control? Who will win? Because here it's not about anger. Who win. Is we both have to win.
Exactly, because I think no matter what, feelings of jealousy are compounded with other feelings. Let's say you're coming from an attack point that you're feeling angry and jealous, or you're feeling sad and jealous, or you're feeling, you got to work through and approach these things calmly and have these big conversations from a very nearly methodical, logical point of view, going, well, X happened, this made me feel X, so how do we rectify this?
Yeah, but I feel the energy that you put when you're going to talk will be very important. If you're going to from a place of I want to resolve this, let's work together, or I want to win this and prove that you're damn right.
Well, exactly, yeah. That's a big difference there.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So do we have anything else to add on our jealousies and insecurities, or any tidbits of advice you can offer?
No, basically that's
we've already offered all the advice we can, yeah. From purely two polyamorous people living our lives the best we can. If you would like to be a guest on PolyAmAreWe, or if you have a story you wish to share that we can unpack on the podcast, feel free to email us at polyamarewepodcast@gmail.com, or drop me a DM on Instagram, TikTok. Where else are we? YouTube? Spotify. Can you DM on Spotify?
No.
Hey, Spotify. Allow DMs on Spotify. Okay, well, we'll leave it at that. And no matter what you get up to, enjoy the journey.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Love you lots.
Take
like
care.
jelly tots. Bye.
Bye.